Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the resumption of the meeting for the 30th online meeting of the DICT BAC 1, today, 16th of June, 2026. Again, we would like to inform everyone to promote transparency pursuant to Section 38 of RA 12009. The copy of this recording will be uploaded on the DICT's official YouTube channel. Please do visit the Department of ICT Philippines and YouTube likewise. Please be reminded that this meeting is being recorded for documentation purposes and that today's meeting is currently live on the ICT official YouTube channel. To check and to confirm if we still have the quorum for the second agenda, the DICT BAC members present in the meeting room for this afternoon session, starting with our provisional member and user, Director Edgar M. Navarro. Good afternoon, Director Edgar. Second on the list is our provisional member and Attorney Andrela M. Aquino. Good afternoon, Attorney Andrela. And our Vice Chairperson, Director Carlo P. Murcia. Good afternoon, Director Paulo. And this meeting is being presided by our DICT BAC and Vice Chairperson Director Carlo P. Murcia, and the BAC Secretariat confirms the presence of a quorum for this afternoon's meeting. With your permission, Mr. Vice Chair, we would like to present again the agenda for the second agenda, please. Thank you.
Yes, please proceed. And it was already approved earlier today. Please present the agenda again.
The second agenda for today is the private conference for the provision of internet access via low Earth orbit satellites, PIALEOS for Agrarian Reform Beneficiaries. The approved budget for the contract is 56,661,700, and the end user for this project is Director Edgar M. Navarro. Mr. Vice Chair, considering that the agenda was already been approved during the first agenda, may we request your permission to admit the representatives, prospective bidders, and the participants to join this pre-bid conference?
Yes, please admit them, Cheryl. Proceed.
For this afternoon, for the provision of the internet access via low Earth orbit satellites, PIALEOS for Agrarian Reform Beneficiaries, we have seven prospective bidders, starting with Comclaric Network and Technology Corp, SMS Global Technologies, Data Lake Inc., Revelev Solutions, 50s Lancaster Technology, 6 is We Are IT Philippines Inc. And 7 is the TP-Link Philippines Ltd Corp. Likewise, I would like to also to acknowledge the presence of our TWG, or the Technical Working Group, for this afternoon. Again, we would like to reiterate, may we call on the project handler of this project, thank you, to present the press mat for this project. Ms. Corey, please, thank you. Again, we would like to call on Ms. Corey, please, thank you for the press mat of the PIALEOS.
Good afternoon. Again, welcome to the preview conference for the provision of internet access via low orbit satellites PIALEOS for Agrarian Reform Beneficiaries with the bid reference number DACT-2026-038 with the approved budget for the contract 52,661,700 pesos. For the points of discussion, project details, house rules, scheduled activities, instruction to bidders, checklist of technical and financial documents, two envelope system and proper sealing and markings, bid data sheet, technical specifications, forms, post qualification documents, and reminders to bidders. For the project details, the invitation to bid for the project was posted on June 9, 2026 on the following: the MPhilJobs website, the ICT website, e-procurement website, the ICT e-bulletin board, the ICT official Facebook page, and the invitations to observers for the tribute conference were sent on June 11, 2026 to the following: Commission on Audit, Chief Information Officers, Foreign Foundation Incorporated, Institute of Electronics Engineers of the Philippines Incorporated, and the Philippine Computer Society. The provisional member and user representative to the DACT document for this project is Director Edgar M. Navarro. And for the prospective bidders, which registered for today's private conference, we have Contract Network and Technology Corporation, umada by TP-Link Philippines Ltd Corporation, SMS Global Technologies Incorporated, Data Lake Incorporated, Revolve Solutions Incorporated, Lancaster Technology and Development Corporation, and We Are IT Philippines Incorporated. For the house rules, everyone is encouraged to make clarifications, identify name and company before raising a question, and limit questions to details of the procurement in hand. The ACT BAC shall award the contract to the bidder with the lowest calculated and responsive bid. And for the bidding requirements, the bidding for the project shall be governed by all the provisions of Republic Act 12009. Any amendments made to the IRR and other GPPB issuances shall be applicable only to the ongoing posting, advertisement, or IB by the BAC through the issuance of a supplemental or bid bond. The bidder, by the act of submitting his bid, shall be deemed to have verified and accepted the general requirements of this project, including other factors that may affect the cost, duration, and execution or implementation of the contract, project, or work, and examine all instructions, forms, terms, and project requirements in the bidding documents. For the instruction to bidders, for corrupt, fraudulent, collusive, and coercive practices, the procuring entity as well as the bidders and suppliers shall observe the highest standards of ethics during the procurement and execution of the contract. They or through an agent shall not engage in corrupt, fraudulent, collusive, coercive, and obstructive practices defined under Republic Act number 12009 or other integrity violations in competing for this project. For conflicts of interest, all bidders found to have conflicting interest shall be disqualified to participate in the procurement at hand without prejudice to the imposition of appropriate administrative, civil, and criminal sanctions. All bidding documents shall be accompanied by an omnibus sworn statement of the bidder that is not related by consanguinity or affinity up to the third level to the HOC, procurement agent, if engaged, the head of the project management office, the end user or implementing unit or any members of the bids and awards committee, technical working group, and back secretary. The bid shall also disclose the ultimate beneficial ownership of an entity. Failure to comply shall be ground for the automatic disqualification of a bid in consonance with Section 59 of the RRR. For eligible bidders, only bids of bidders found to be legally, technical, and financially capable will be evaluated. Foreign ownership limited to those allowed under the rules may participate in this project. Talks may be eligible to participate only if they can establish that they are legally and financially autonomous, operate under commercial law, and are not attached agencies of the procuring entity. The bidder must have completed within a period of 5 years from the submission of the bid, unless a shorter period is indicated in the invitation to bid and bid the single largest completed contract that is similar to the procurement project to be bid and whose values must be equivalent to at least 50% of the ABC adjusted to the current price using the Philippine Statistics Authority consumer price indices. The bidder must submit a computation of its net financial contracting capacity, which must be at least equal to the ABC to be bid. And subcontracting is not allowed for this project. For clarification and amendments of the bidding documents, our request for clarification shall be formalized, addressed, and emailed to the BAC Secretariat in the email presented on the screen, bac.secretariat@bact.gov.ph, and the deadline for the request for clarification is on June 20, 2026 at 4 p.m. Copies of supplemental bid bulletins, if any, shall be posted at the PhilJEP's website, the DICT website, and the bulletin board at DICT lobby. For the language of bids, the eligibility requirements of statements, the bids, and all other documents to be submitted to the BAC must be in English. If the eligibility requirements or statements, the bids, and all other documents submitted to the BAC are in foreign language, other than English, it must be accompanied by a translation of the documents in English. For contracting parties to the apostille convention, the document shall be authenticated through an apostille by competent authority as defined by Section 20.9.2 of IRR, except for countries identified by the DFA that will still require legalization by the relevant embassy or consulate. For contracting parties to the apostille convention, the documents shall be authenticated through an apostille by the competent authority as defined in Section 20.9.2 of the IRR, except for countries identified by the DFA that will still require legalization by the relevant embassy or consulate. For the checklist of technical and financial documents, for the technical component envelope, one PhilJEP certificate of registration, platinum membership. Statement of the bidder single largest completed contract similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided for in section 52.4.1.3 IRR of Republic Act number 1209 within the relevant period as provided in the bidding documents. Please take note that any of the following documents must be submitted together with a single statement of the single largest completed contract and user's acceptance, official receipt, sales invoice of the contract, NFCC computation or committed line of credit, and statement of all of its ongoing and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. And if applicable, JVA, or in the absence of a JVA, a duly notarized statements from all potential JV partners stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the JVA in the event that the bid is successful. Original copy of the bid security if in the form of a surety bond. Submit also a certification issued by the Insurance Commission or original copy of notarized bid security declaration. For the bid, there's who opt to submit a bid security declaration as a form of bid security are required to use the bid security declaration in the attached bidding documents. For the schedule of requirements, technical specifications, which may include production or delivery schedule, manpower requirements, or after-sales service reports if applicable. Value-added service license, the bidder must submit a valid and current certificate of registration issued by the National Telecommunications Commission as a value-added service provider, authorizing the bidder to offer internet access services, manage ICT services, and manage infrastructure services through a duly accredited satellite service provider of operator. In lieu of the value-added service license, the service provider may submit at least one of the following. Certificate of Public Convenience and Necessity. The service provider submit a certification from NTC that certifies the service provider is authorized to operate and maintain a nationwide wired and wireless broadband network in the Philippines and to offer broadband communication services and other ancillary services. Tier 1 Internet Service Provider certification. The service provider is to submit a certification from the NTC stating they are authorized to establish, install, operate, and maintain a nationwide wired and wireless broadband network in the Philippines and offer national and international broadband communication services. A screenshot of the proposed network monitoring system, unified dashboard demonstrating the monitoring of LEO satellite terminals, access points, routers, and switches, including its key functionalities. In addition, the bidder must submit complete developer-ready documentation for all APIs exposed by the NMS. Furthermore, in the case of a joint venture, at least one entity must be registered as a value-added service provider and an internet service provider. The service provider must submit an ISO 27001 information security, cybersecurity, and privacy protection certification. For joint ventures or partnership, at least the primary internet service provider or principal technology provider must possess the ISO certification. The bidder must submit documentary evidence proving its status as an authorized reseller of LEO satellite systems certified by the manufacturer. The service provider must submit a list of key personnel who will be assigned to the project. The list must include at least one licensed electronics engineer and technical staff, both with prior experience in implementing similar communication projects. Proof of qualifications and credentials should be submitted, consisting of a valid Professional Regulation Commission ID for licensed professionals and or an official certificate of employment engagement from the employer for technical staff attesting to their relevant experience. Original duly signed Omnibus 1 statement, and if applicable, original notarized secretary certificate in case of a corporation, partnership, or cooperative, or a original special power of attorney of all members of the joint venture, giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the OSS and do acts to represent the bidder. And for foreign bidders claiming eligibility by reason of their country's extension of reciprocal rights to Filipinos, a certification from the relevant government office of their country stating that Filipinos are allowed to participate in their government procurement activities for the same item of product. For the financial documents envelope, one original of duly signed and accomplished financial bid form, Original of duly signed and accomplished price schedules, and certificate from the DTI if the bidder claims preference as a domestic bidder or domestic entity. For the bill and payment currency, payment of the contract price shall be made in peso. The bid price is use the proper form of goods offered from within the Philippines or goods offered from abroad in indicating price schedules. For the bid validity, bid shall remain valid for the period specified in the BDS. It shall not exceed 120 calendar days from the date of the opening of bids. The bid security is all bid must be accompanied by a bid security in any of the acceptable forms and in the amount stated in the BDS. For format and signing of bids, bidders shall submit their bids through their duly authorized representative using the appropriate forms provided in Section 8, Philippine Bidding Document related forms, on or before the deadline specified in ITB Clause 19 in two separate sealed bid envelopes. Forms as mentioned in ITB Clause 7.1 must be completed without any alterations to the form. No substitute form shall be accepted. Each and every page of the bid form, including the price schedule, under Section 8 shall be signed by the duly authorized representative of the bidders. Failure to do so shall be a ground for the rejection of the bid. Any insertions, erasures, or overwriting shall be valid only if there are signed or initialed by the duly authorized representative or representatives of the bidder. As shown on the screen is the sealing and marking of bids. For the bid submission, it shall be inside a technical component and financial component. And inside the technical component is three components, namely the technical component, the original copy, technical component, the duplicate copy, and triplicate copies of the technical component. And for the financial component, it shall also contain inside three copies, original copy of the financial component, duplicate copy, and triplicate copy of the financial component. For the sealing and marking of bids, it shall be addressed to Department of Information and Communications Technology, and from the name of bidder in capital letters. Indicated also is the address of bidder in capital letters, and the project title, Provision of Internet Access via Low Earth Orbit Satellites PIALEOS for Agrarian for Reform Beneficiaries. For the bid reference number, DICT-2026-038, and in capital letters indicate the phrase, do not open before June 30, 2026, 1:30 p.m. The copies, each bidder shall submit one original and two copies of the required documents. And for the deadline of the submission for bids is on June 30, 2026 at 12 noon. And the opening of bids is on June 30, 2026 at 1:30 p.m. For the bid evaluation, reminding bidders to kindly break down all the cost of the taxes pursuant to Section 61.2.2 IRR of RA 12009, to which all bidders shall be required to include the cost of all taxes, such as but not limited to value-added taxes, income tax, local taxes, and other fiscal levies and duties which shall be itemized in the bid form and reflected in the detailed estimates. Such bids, including said taxes, shall be the basis for bid evaluation and comparison. Members of the BAC, its staff, and personnel, Secretariat and the technical working group as well as observers are prohibited from making or accepting any communication with any bidder regarding the evaluation of their bids until the issuance of the notice of award. However, the BAC through its secretariat may ask the bidder in writing for clarification of its bid. All responses to requests for clarification shall be in writing. For the opening and preliminary examination of bids, the manner of opening bids for goods shall depend on the award criterion to be adopted. For LCRB and MERB, the BAC shall open the technical and financial proposals on the same day. Contracts similar to the project must involve the similar nature, shall be contracts pertaining to the supply, installation, configuration, commissioning, management, maintenance, and support of nationwide coverage of low Earth orbit satellite internet system. They should have been completed within the last 5 years prior to the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids, and whose value is at least 50% of the ABC. For the bid data sheet, the bid security shall be in the form of a bid securing declaration or any of the following form and amounts. For form of bid security in a form of bank draft or guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit or surety bond, the amount shall be 2,633,085 pesos. For the post-qualification documents, the bidder within the 5 calendar days from the receipt of notice from the bank that it submitted the LCP, MEAB, or MAB shall submit all the eligibility documents supporting its field of certificate of registration and platinum membership, its latest income and business tax returns filed for preceding quarter should not be earlier than 2 quarters from the date of submission and receipt of field and other appropriate licenses of work as required as stated in the PBS. For the forms, it includes the schedule of requirements, technical specifications, bid form, price schedules for goods offered from abroad, price schedules for goods offered from within the Philippines, bid securing declaration, omnibus one statement, and performance securing declaration. Shown on the screen are the templates for the bid form for procurement of goods, price schedule for goods, bid securing declaration, omnibus one statement form, schedule of requirements, and reminders to bidders. The lock at the 19th floor, Studio 7. The clock at the 19th floor, Studio 7, using the Philippine Standard Time is the official reference time during submission and receipt of bids. A member of the back secretariat shall be assigned to receive the bid documents at the 19th floor, Studio 7 lobby, and shall stamp these as received. Readers are reminded that entry inside the DICT premises is subject to the safety in place, and processing of payment for the bidding documents prior to the submission of the actual bid offer may take time. Presence in the DICT premises does not constitute submission on time. This shall refer to the actual handover of the bid proposal to the authorized personnel of the back secretariat. Again, the request for clarification shall be formalized, address an email to the back secretariat, back.secretariat@dict.gov.ph, and deadline for the request for clarification is on June 26, 4 p.m. Copies of supplemental bid bulletins, if any, shall be posted at the Filters website, the DICT website, DICT social media platform, and e-bulletin board at the DICT lobby. For the common causes of ineligibility and disqualification, invalid field of certification and underlying supporting documents, pursuant to Section 20.2.9 Count 1 IRR of RA 12009, all Class A eligibility documents indicated in Annex A of the Field Test Registration Certificate Platinum Membership must be current, valid, and updated at the time of bid submission. The failure by the prospective bidder to update its certificate with the current and updated Class A eligibility documents shall result in the automatic suspension of the validity of its certificate until such time that all of the expired Class A eligibility document has been updated. Thus, prospective bidders are required to update their field test registration certificate prior to the submission of their bids. Failure to attach the required supporting documents for the statement of single largest completed contract similar to the project to be bid, and failure to include all mandatory provisions. Submission of unsigned documents. Submission of audited financial statement without stamp receipt of the BIR. If an AFS was filed and paid through electronic filing and payment system, EFPS, there is no need for the stamp receipt of the BIR. Instead, bidders must submit their proof of AFS e-submission, samplers are PIR emails confirmation receipt of returns documents with its filing reference number or transaction code. Failure to submit the bid securing declaration in the prescribed format attached in the bidding documents. Failure to submit bid securing declaration and omnibus sworn statement without a jurat as required in the form provided in the bidding documents pursuant to the latest rules and notarial practice. Failure to indicate compliance in the technical specifications and to attach proof of compliance if applicable. For submission of bids through courier service, bidders are reminded that a courier service personnel must submit the bid proposal to a personnel of the back secretariat division of the office address provided. Bid submission or proposal left by query service personnel to the lobby guard or any other personnel or staff aside from the authorized back secretariat personnel will not be considered submission for purposes of bid review. The responsibility to ensure that the courier service personnel submits the bid proposal to the authorized back secretariat personnel is the sole responsibility of the prospective bid. We will now present the eProc video guide for bidders.
Provide a valid email address. Accessing the e-procurement website. Open any web browser and go the https://eprocurement.dict.gov.ph. Click the Sign Up button. Provide a valid email address. Create a password with at least 8 alphanumeric characters, 1 uppercase, a number, and a symbol. Repeat your password for confirmation. Tick the checkbox to agree to the terms and conditions. And click Create Account button. Open the email account that you provided during registration, check your inbox, and verify your account by following the instructions in the email. Click Activate Your Account button. Go back to the e-procurement system and enter your registered email address and password. Click Login button, and you will be redirected to the onboarding page. Input your personal information and click Next button. Input your company information and click Next button. Review the information you provided and click Confirm button. Once onboarded, you will be redirected to the homepage/dashboard. Select the procurement project you wish to participate in by clicking the View Complete Details button. Select the lot you wish to participate and click Participate in Bidding button. A confirmation modal will appear. Review the details, click the Confirm button, and you will be redirected to the payment window. Select your preferred payment method from the list and click Pay Now button. Print and save the receipt as proof of payment and for reference. You may also check your email to view your receipt. Click the Go Back to Merchant button. You will be redirected to the My Transactions page, where a list of your transactions will be displayed.
Mr. Vice Chair, considering that the end user, that the project handler is then presenting the press mat, may we respectfully seek further guidance whether to proceed with the detailed reading of the technical specs, considering that this is already posted in the PILJEPS and the ICT website, or to dispense with it. And to proceed,
To our prospective bidders, do you have any questions on the publicly posted technical specifications on the bid documents? We can head straight to that. Hindi na natin babasahin dahil meron din naman. So any objections to moving to the question and answer portion? Going once, going twice. Okay, Cheryl, let's proceed to the question and answer portion. Let's have the end user address the questions to be propounded by our prospective bidders. Thank you.
thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. But before we proceed, Mr. Vice Chair, we would like to remind our participants. For our participants, if you have questions that you'd like to raise, may we request to kindly use the raise hand button, and we will call you one by one. Once called, kindly introduce yourself and mention the name of the company that you are representing. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair.
Let's begin. Anyone who wants to ask a question, kindly raise your digital hand. Mr. Del Rosario, you're recognized.
Yes, sir. Sir, good afternoon. By the way, I'm Paul Del Rosario, representative of Data Lake Incorporated, sir. Sir, I have question regarding the bidding documents under section 2.1.2.1.5 and regard it connected to the 2.1.3.1.3 regarding the specification for the indoor and outdoor access point. It specified that it should have a cloud management capable of supporting remote speed testing, which is, as far as I know, sir, for the access point, wala pa masyadong, there are limited devices that can comply to the support of remote speed testing. Unless it is, sir, it is specified also here the speed testing is 41 for the router, sir. I think that will comply, sir, for the support remote one speed test. But for the access point, I have questions, sir, regarding the remote speed test.
And you, sir, can you please answer? Any representative from the end user team of Director Ed Navarro?
Good afternoon po, Mr. Vice Chair. Indira Alnas po from the end user. If I may
Hello,
po.
please.
Yes, good afternoon po. To our prospective bidders, for this po, we will review the requirements and we will answer through supplemental bid bulletin po. Thank you.
Okay. So you have the commitment, Mr. Del Rosario, for end user, and will issue the SBB. Recorded naman to. We will note all the questions that will be answered through the supplemental bid bulletin. Mr. Dorothy, sorry, I can't read the entire name. Kyle Silak Dorothy, you're recognized? Dorotheo, yun.
Hello, good afternoon. This is Kyle Silak Dorfeo, representative from Revolve Solutions. I have question lang po dun sa section 7 under technical specifications. Clause 2. Sorry, this is clause 2.1.6.2. Sorry, this is 2.1.7, the power distribution unit. Can you reconsider the surface extension cord na may 2 outlets? Kasi po, dito po sa extension cord natin, ang isasaksak lang naman po natin yung EDU. UPS and then yung fans. Tapos yung other equipments, isasaksak na po sa UPS.
Ms. Alnas, can you answer the question of Mr. Doroteo, please? Or anyone from the end user team?
Yes, Mr. Vice Chair. With this po, we will confirm na lang din po using with the supplemental bid bulletin.
Okay, the end user has committed and we will issue the response to the specific question from Revolt to be stated in the supplemental bid bulletin. Any more questions? Mr. Del Rosario, you're recognized.
Yes, sir. By the way, sir, I'm Paul De Rosario again from Digtalig. As my last question, sir, regarding the bidding documents under 2.2.1, the ownership and access control, the service provider shall maintain full and absolute ownership of all hardware terminals and CPE. For this one, sir, all the equipment is permanent installation, or do we have a ingress-egress for the pull-out?
Before I recognize Mr. Agustin from WIT, let's allow the end user to respond to Mr. Del Rosario's question. End user, please.
Sorry po, sir, can you repeat the question regarding the ingress and outgress?
Yes po. Regarding the ingress, egress, we have a question po. If the device is permanent installed, or do we need to pull it out?
Yes po, because the ownership of the equipment will still be with the winning bidder po. It's not under the ICT. So you will, after the contract po, if this will not be renewed, then yes, you need to pull out all the CPEs po.
Noted po. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Agustin, you're recognized. Please, your question.
Good afternoon, sir. Yes, sir. Mark Agustin from WIT. Regarding lang po dun sa qualification for bidders, we're just asking lang sana, sir, if it can be considered po na isama yung SSPO.
End user, did you get that?
Yes po. According to sa technical specifications item 4.2.1, the bidder must submit a valid and current certificate of registration issued by the NTC as value-added service provider, authorizing the bidder to offer internet access services, manage IT services, and manage infrastructure services through a duly accredited satellite service provider or operators, if that is what you are referring to.
Okay, ma'am. Noted po. Are they going to be required also to submit like yung SSPO from accreditation ng SSPO po, from like for example from the ICT?
Yes po, during the bid openings. It has to be along with the technical bid submission.
Okay po. Noted po, ma'am. Thank you po.
Any more questions from our prospective bidders? Again, this is not the end of the question time. As mentioned by Jacob earlier, you can email your questions. And better nga na kahit nabanggit nyo na dito sa meeting na to yung question nyo, gawin yung in electronic form, so to speak. I-email nyo rin yung mga natanong nyo na dito para yung mga commitment to issue the SBB fully addressed lahat ng tanong na may tatanong dito. So please take note of the deadline. If I'm not mistaken, it was June 20. Jacob, tama ba? June 20, 4 p.m.? Jacob.
Yes po, attorney.
June 20, 4 p.m. sa email na binigay ng ating butihing back secretariat. Sige. Any more questions? Thank you for that. Very good. Any more questions from our prospective bidders? You have the floor. Just raise your digital hand. Miss Estanco, can you identify your company also? Please, thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. This is Mary Angela from Comcloud.
Medyo mahina lang yung mic mo, mama. Pakilakasan na lang or pakilapit na lang yung mic sa bibig mo. Please, thank you. Para manibig na end user natin.
Hello? Clear po?
Yan. Yeah, very clear. Thank you, Mrs. Tanco. Please proceed with your question.
I would like to confirm na po if ever may existing provider na po.
Ms. Alnas, kindly respond.
Existing provider po at the moment, wala po.
Alright, thank you po.
More questions, please? Any more from our prospective bidders? Going once? Going twice? Okay, so I think there are no more questions to be asked. Again, you are not limited to this meeting from asking your questions. You can send your questions via email doon sa email address na binigay sa atin kanina, and it will be part of our final reminders later. So, wala na tayong questions from our prospective bidders. Cheryl, Jacob, you have the floor. Please proceed with the next part of our agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. And for our final reminders, again, the Back Secretariat would like to reiterate the reminders to bidders. Likewise, the Back Secretariat would like to reiterate the request and for clarification should be formalized, addressed, and emailed to the Back Secretariat at back@dict.gov.ph and back.secretariat@dict.gov.ph, and that the deadline for the request for clarification is set on June 20, 2026 at 4 p.m. and that the copies of the supplemental bid bulletins, if any, shall be posted at the PILJEP's website and the DICT website, as well as the bulletin board at the DICT lobby. Lastly, the questions and clarifications will be coordinated with the end user to formulate the final answer to the supplemental bid bulletin that will be issued. And that would be all po from the Back Secretariat, Mr. Vice Chair.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you to our prospective bidders for attending this pre-bid conference, and we hope you send your questions formally. And please do take note na we have, this is a recorded meeting naman, and the questions and the answers exchanged here today are recorded. And please, again, even if you have asked your questions here, you can repeat and add to your questions and email them to us through our good Back Secretariat. But please do take note of the deadline. We are very strict with the deadline. Pasensya na po. We are mandated to really observe the deadline given. So, to our prospective bidders, you are excused. And to our end user, represented by Ms. Alnas, led by Dr. Ed Navarro, thank you for answering the questions of our good prospective bidders. Again, Thank you. We can have our respective bidders excuse na, Cheryl and Jacob, so that we can head to our final agenda item for today. Thank you, everyone.